In a world where power is inherited and bloodlines determine destiny, one boy refused to accept his fate. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, and his story isn't just about becoming strong. It's about what drives a person to keep on going when every reason to stop is staring them in the face. Why Naruto never gave up. The anime psychology. To understand Naruto's determination, you have to sit with how bad his starting point actually was. 9 years old, living completely alone. No family, no friends, and the entire village despised him because of the nine-tailed fox sealed inside of him. They can't separate the child from the monster. To them, he isn't Naruto, he's a threat wearing a human face. Human beings are wired for connection. When that's denied from every direction, most children internalize the rejection. They start believing the hatred is deserved. They shut down or collapse. But Naruto refuses to accept the story being written for him. He acts out constantly, pranking the village, demanding attention in the most disruptive ways possible. People see this as comic relief. Psychologically, it's something else. Every prank is a declaration. I exist. I am here. You will not erase me. And then he announces his goal publicly.
Be the greatest Hokage!
He will become the Hokage, the strongest leader in the village. Everyone laughs. He has no talent, no connections, no support system. The dream is objectively absurd. By stating it out loud and never going back on his word, Naruto creates what's called an identity anchor. The goal stops being a wish and becomes part of who he is. Abandoning the dream means abandoning himself. This makes it almost impossible to let go. Because nobody gives Naruto praise or recognition, he develops intrinsic motivation. Drive that comes from inside, not external rewards. And intrinsic motivation is more durable than anything else. When the external validation disappears, the fire stays lit. Naruto's deepest wound becomes the engine of his determination. Naruto is dead lost at the academy. While other students master basic jutsu on the first try, he fails the clone jutsu repeatedly. A technique even below average students can do. By every external measure, he has no business being a ninja. Most people eventually quit when failure stacks up like that. Not because they're weak, but because the brain is a good pattern recognizer. If the evidence consistently says you're not cut out for something, walking away is often irrational. Naruto doesn't operate that way. He treats failure as information, not judgment. When the clone jutsu doesn't work, he doesn't conclude he's worthless. He finds another path. That's how he ends up learning the shadow clone jutsu, a technique far more advanced than the one he originally struggled with. He doesn't just persist, he adapts. This is the core of a growth mindset. The belief that ability isn't fixed, that struggle is part of learning, and that failure is feedback rather than a final verdict. There's a deeper layer here. Naruto's sense of his own worth is never tied to his performance. Most people operate on conditional self-esteem. They feel great when they succeed, terrible when they fail. That makes failure existentially threatening. When failure becomes existential, people stop taking risks, stop trying hard, and they stop growing. Naruto never develops that pattern. No matter how many times he loses, there's a core belief that he never gives up. Not because of what he can do, but because of who he is. That's what lets him absorb the hit, get back up and go again without being destroyed by it. Early in the series, Naruto's drive is personal. He wants acknowledgement. He wants to prove himself. But as he builds real relationships with Iruka, Kakashi, Sasuke and Jiraiya, something shifts. His motivation transforms from I'll prove everyone wrong to I won't let down the people who believe in me. And then it expands to I'll protect the people I love. And then it finally becomes I'll protect everyone. Self-focused motivation has a ceiling. But when it becomes rooted in relationships and purpose, when giving up means failing people, not just yourself, it becomes almost unbreakable. The pain arc is where this gets tested at its absolute limit. Jiraiya, his sensei, his father figure, one of the only people who loved him unconditionally from the start, is gone. And we see Naruto genuinely break. He sits in grief. He questions whether any of this is worth it. The show doesn't skip past this. It lets him break, and this is where purpose-driven determination reveals its full power. Naruto doesn't get back up because he stops grieving. He gets back up inside the grief. He carries Jiraiya's belief that the cycle of hatred can end and makes it his own. He's no longer fighting to be acknowledged. He's fighting to honor something larger than himself. And purpose at that depth doesn't break under pressure. It intensifies. Naruto never gave up because he built something inside him that failure couldn't reach. He made a stubborn, irrational, yet beautiful decision that his dream mattered more than his obstacles. His determination was deepened over time by real connections and a purpose that's larger than himself. These aren't things you're born with. They're patterns that develop through difficulty and choice, which means they are available to all of us. Determination isn't something you have. It's something you choose over and over and over again, especially when it gets hard. That is what Naruto teaches us. And honestly, that's enough.
And slowly but surely, we couldn't help but acknowledge him. Naruto has truly changed the minds of everyone whose lives he's touched.
It's because he never gave up.
Subscribe to Anime Philosophy so you can break down your favorite anime characters and explore the deeper messages of their stories.